everybody, welcome back to Angry Badger Minis. And we are working on the Lascannon teams. Been busy, family stuff, things like that. We actually did get the motor teams done. Excuse me one second while my attack squigs are corralled. Okay, I guess we're good now. Anyway, I got the motor teams done. I did mine just a little bit differently as far as like weapons and stuff, because in my mind, my Krieg are more disciplined than just to lay their stuff on the ground like Forge World showed. However, one thing I did notice, and there was no way for me to change it, is that the head of the Kriegsman here, or Corpsman, whatever you want to call him, is not looking at the mortar tube, which he should be. For those of you that don't know anything about this kind of stuff, or we're not in the military, essentially what's going to end up happening here is, and if you look at the mortar, it's going in crooked, which is not how you would put this in. You would literally try to put it in as straight up and down as you can, and then if you look at my hand, you're literally dropping it down the side. Your hand is dropping down the side as this guy would take a knee towards this guy right here, away from the mortar tube. But I'm just being particular right now because I can be. If you take a look at the one that we had to do the part, it came out pretty decent. Again, you won't notice any of this stuff once it's all painted and things like that. It won't even matter. Nobody's gonna pay that any attention whatsoever. But just for a comparison, see if we can fit it all in there. It's not too bad. See what I mean? And that was Instamold. So, alright. So anyway, we've been putting Lascannon teams together today and a little bit yesterday. And we have a little bit of disappointing news in regards to the Lascannon teams. Every Lascannon, it didn't matter what I did, how careful I was, look at that, right at the tip. Okay? Every one of them. Okay? They all broke just like that. And there's nothing I could do about it to stop it. I mean, but we have a way to fix that. We can either use green stuff, which I'm not going to waste for these little spots here, or we can use paper, like you guys may have seen me do in the past in some of my videos, where I just run the paper over there, glue it down, it bridges the gap, and you crazy glue it, pretty solid. Sorry, let me do this. You crazy glue that pretty solid, and then you sand it down so that it all matches. So I'm not too concerned about that. It's just, again, it's just one more finger in my eye from Forge World about how much money I spent on this army and how much headache I've had putting this thing together. I still enjoy putting it together. I'm enjoying watching it come together. I have parts of the Warhound Titan currently washing at the moment. Well, they're sitting in jars. Some of them are a little too big. I'll have to wash them in a tub. But I got the bulk of this done so that I can go ahead and get this done. So anyway, we've got our reference here. The only question that I have, or the only thing that seems to stick out in my mind, is trying to figure out, we have, I don't know if these are options for these cables, so that you can have it far away or closer, or if it's supposed to go somewhere else, because let's see here, 1 2 3 4 5 6, I have 6 of these sprue deals here, and I'm not seeing anywhere in the picture except for right here that there's a cable. Here it is again. So I'm a little unclear where this second cable goes, or if it's an option. I'm thinking it's an option. This right here with the gun on the ground, that is unsat. That Kriegsman right there needs to be beat about the head with an E-tool. I'm just saying, entrenching tool for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, again, I'm only seeing one. So I'm leaning towards that it's, an option. That's what I'm leaning towards. So let's just go ahead and put the color one up. That's what I think it is. I think it's an option. and I'm curious what you guys would think about which one we should use. I'm thinking the straight one just kind of is bleh, and the curved one is the better one. So I'm thinking we're gonna roll with the curved one. But that's gonna be like one of the last things we do. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna try to make sure we get our what you call it, our Kriegsmen in place. I've already cut them loose. There may be some trimming that I need to do. Not entirely sure at the moment. And thankfully, just like with the autocannon team, we don't have to match up the a gunner or assistant gunner with the Lascannon gunner himself. He's going to be on his own, and that works for me. However, that being said, that means that we've got to figure out, and it doesn't look like it's too bad. It looks like it's all one piece, which is good. So I'm actually going to take back what I was just about to say. We're just going to cut these out, put them on the guy. We'll kind of line it up the best we can, and then we will position him and glue him in place. Hope everybody had, for those of you that are or were celebrating, a good Father's Day. I know I haven't been on the channel for a couple of days, but family stuff comes first, and probably needed a little break to catch up on some sleep, to be honest with you. Let's see, let's make sure we got all of these, because I want to go ahead and knock these out. Kind of, what am I trying to call it? I can't remember now. Kind of, assembly line, that's it. Hey, I remembered it. Assembly line style. So for those of you that are joining the channel or hanging out, please feel free to message me and talk. It always makes it more fun. Also, if you're new to the channel, or if you're not, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel, get it out there to more people, and motivates me to keep going. Let's see here. I'm gonna minimize that a little bit so that way you guys can see a little more of what it is that I'm doing. I saw that, I don't know the exact companies at the moment, but there are some companies out there right now that are going to be releasing like a Grey Knight type action figure thing, similar to the McFarlane one. And then there's another company that's going to be releasing a GI, my understanding anyway, a G.I. Joe sized Space Marine team action figures, which is kind of neat. I don't know that I'll partake in that. I mean, it'd be nice if I could or do, but not something I'm running out of my way to do. Well, this is weird. They gave me a sight for the Lascannon, even though it has a scope on it, and they gave me a secondary handle. What the heck is that all about? I don't know. Maybe the site can be like a backup site. Let's see here. Hold on. It's also allergy season here, in full swing. So we're dealing with that here at the house. Many of us who never had allergies before we moved here, which is hilarious. Okay, let's see here. There we go. Well, maybe. Must have not sit like it should. Okay. We're gonna have to clean this up a little more than I thought. Let's see here. Let's grab this. Saw a conversation in Facebook and a thing, what am I trying to say? A group that I'm in, and the comment was, or the question rather was, do you or should you always get rid of mold lines? And of course, you had plenty of people in there like, absolutely, 100%. What's the point of putting the work and the effort into painting it if you're going to just see the mold lines? I agree with that. However, I'd also disagree, because there's no point in getting rid of all the mold lines. Some people say it only takes 15 minutes. I disagree with that. It really depends on the model and the material that you're working with. But more importantly, like you guys have seen in the past on my videos, if you're not going to see it, there's no point. Why slave over it, if you will, when you can, just get on with whatever's the more fun thing for you to do. You know what I mean? So, each to their own. Don't be a purist. Don't be that guy. If you come across somebody, at a game table and they've got nicely painted models, but they didn't do the mold lines, don't be that guy. It's like, oh, you got a mold line there, man. Does it really matter? Oh, it looks like we forgot to cut one of these off. Let's see. Okay. All right. Let's try that again. See if we can get these arms to line up smoother, look smoother. And then I'm just gonna, whoops. See if we can get it to hold there. Okay. Now it doesn't want to stay on there. This angle here. I'm just trying to figure out where the handle needs to be in regards to the guy's chest, and it appears that it needs to be lower than you would think. It also would appear that I have a problem with how okay, so that stinks. So you guys know I like to go more dynamic with my weapons. I've got them pointed in different directions and stuff. This particular guy does not lend you the ability to do that. So that means I'm going to have to actually make all of my Lascannon straight, which kind of stinks, because that's just kind of boring to me. But that's what we got to do. So, oh well. I guess better we found out now, right? They could be a little maybe off kilter if we can get away with it. I don't know. Alright, so that one, the arm is falling down. You guys can't see this right now, but I'll show you here in a second. So it's right about chest level so that it's not blocking the gas mask and the hose, which is my biggest concern and the thing that I care about the most, because I want to be able to see the dude's face. It's the whole point of having Krieg deathcore. You know what I mean? Let's see. There is also, I don't know if you guys listen to the audio stories or anything. There's an audio story out there. Let me tell you which one it is here real quick. Let's see. It is Down Amongst the Dead Men. The story is by Steve Lyons, and I'm trying to remember. Well, anyway, if you just look that up, I'm trying to remember the guy's name that does the audio story, but it's pretty good the way he does it, and it's a good story. It's, you know, it's about, you know, the deathcore Krieg, specifically one guy in particular, or one trooper in particular. So I think this is gonna work now. I hope. Got a little bit of glue on there. Well, dang, man. So right here, let's see, right in here, there's a gap. I mean, you can't really tell. I mean, you guys can tell here. You can't really tell when you're just looking at it, but it may be more gap than I want to deal with. Let's see here. Okay, so we're gonna have to. Oh, looks like we might get some turn on this one, so that'll be cool. Excellent. Alright, let me just check his arm real quick. Looks halfway decent. So I'm just going to drop some glue right on the back side of that handle. And then I'm going to drop a little bit of glue on his trench coat. And a little bit of glue on his foot. Because what I'm battling here is not only the angle of the cannon, but I'm battling the bipod legs as well. Or support, you know, legs. But I want to make sure this dude is looking straight down that scope. That is what I want to make sure of. So now, move him over slightly. So these guys may be a little more, may have to finesse them a little bit more than normal, but that'll be okay. All right, so we got one in place. Let me set that down before I screw it up. And welcome whomever that is that joined the channel. Okay, get this off of here. Awesome. I'll still have to go back and do some work. Like, if you guys can check this out, you see how that cannon is kind of bent. It's that resin deal. So, but I mean, again, easy fix. Just heat yourself up some hot water. It doesn't have to be like, you know, boiling hot or anything. Just straight from the tap, man, and just stick it in there, and you can, you know, bend it back, and it'll work just fine. All right, get this next dude rolling here. Now that we have an idea of where that's supposed to be, so that we don't block the detail of the model. Let's see here. And again, oh man, really? If you're new to the channel, there's some links down below. I post on Discord and Facebook when I'm going live, so that way when YouTube decides they want to wait 15-20 minutes to let you know that I have been live, you'll know ahead of time. But we're typically on here between 8 and 8:30 Eastern Standard Time in the US. That being said, you know, we do our best to be on time, and we're usually streaming nightly, because this is one massive project of getting all of these models put together. Let's see, yeah, he's got to get turned. Dang it, come on, man. And I gotta push him up forward. Some of you may feel it's not worth it to worry about being that exact, but for me, I mean, again, It's the amount of money I spent on this army in particular, let alone the other armies. So I want to at least, oh my gosh, I knew I was going to do that. Oh, surprisingly it didn't actually move that bad. Oops, hit the camera though. Ugh, of course. I jinxed it. I jinxed it. Sorry if it's like out of focus. It's trying to focus on all the other stuff. And I'm trying to give you guys something to look at. Let's see if I can get some on the foot without moving it. There we go. Set that off to the side. You guys can see the rest of this that I'm working on. Yeah, I think these guys are going to be the hardest part of this whole deal. Well, alright, I say that, but then we've got that cable that's got to go to the, I don't know, quasi electrical box, maybe, whatever you want to call it. And I wonder if it might not be easier for me just to do it with it laying on the table instead of in my hands. Then I don't have to fiddle with it. So let's give that a try on this next one. See how that pans out for us. Glue on there. Smack these arms on. Slap them on, smack them on, whatever. I don't know what the appropriate terminology would be. I'm thinking slap them on would probably be better. Slide this bad boy up in there. Yeah, this is going better. Of course, I say that, and I've now just jinxed that as well, right? Of course I did. Alright, let's see here. Okay, slide that over. I'll worry about going back and gluing the guns later. I mean, I probably won't have to because they're going to be held in by the gunners themselves, but you never know. Let's see here. Get in there. Okay. No! Oh, twice he's been shot and he hasn't even gotten into the battle yet. 3 times. Holy smokes. Come on, man. What is your deal? I don't know why he wants to fall over. Alright, let's see. Tack a little glue there and kind of spot weld him. I don't know, he's got, for some reason, maybe there's just enough resin on this back side, he's just too heavy. Alright, we're gonna have to borrow the autocannon and use the muzzle to hold him in place, as you can see. I don't know, man, he looks like he's falling over still. I mean, I don't really care if the head per se is really pointed down the scope. I mean, it'd be nice, but the handle has to be in the spot it's supposed to be in. I mean, there's just no way around that. Otherwise, it's gonna look really stupid. Oh my gosh, really? What is the deal here? Looks like we got some stuff on the bottom. Maybe I could chip away and that might fix the problem, but I don't know for certain. Don't know for certain. Okay. Yep, that seemed to solve it. Alright, let me get this out of my workspace. Let's slide this bad boy up in there. Get that handle going. We apparently have a ghost slash dust hair here. Came out of nowhere. Gotta love modeling and having pets. I don't know if I can get it. I think I got it. But this guy still looks like he's falling over. Of course the gun does too. Ever since I broke it loose. Let's see if we can. There we go. Alright, don't move. Don't move! Alright, 2 more. Let's see here. Looks like we still had some residual glue on that one from gluing down the actual tri or bipod, whatever you want to call it. Let's see if that's going to sit. Okay, that's going to sit fine. Let's check this last dude. Maybe this was just something I forgot to do. Yep, okay, everybody's good to go. So let's go ahead and slap some glue on here. Slap some arms on here. That thankfully are 1 piece and not 2 pieces, because that really would have stunk, to be honest with you. And then let's try to move this up in there. Nice and low. Okay. As minute or, you know, as uninteresting as it may be, when you're putting glue like you just saw me do right here, look right down here where the blade is. When you're putting glue on something and wanting it to drip off, if you get a pooling effect, you can put some more glue there and it will help drag it, you know what I'm saying, off of the model. And you know, that's something that I guess you just learn over time and then you just do it, but I just thought I'd share that with everybody. Alright, last dude. And we're gonna need to turn the gun some because, yeah. Oh, this gun is now broken. Outstanding. Well, you saw it live. That's the way it goes. But all is not lost. The thing I would be most concerned about would be if I couldn't work with it, but I can. I'm just gonna get this guy on there. It's gonna be a little bit of a hassle, but it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. Come on. Sorry, you guys aren't even seeing what I'm doing. I'm trying to get these darn arms on here, and he's wanting to be difficult. what I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably going to let him, let's see if I can let him sit and cure and then come back to this. I need to look at one of these, see where that, okay, it's right under there. Okay, so I was right. And then what I'll do is I'll glue him down. Just make sure I got the right spot. Yeah. Okay, so I'll glue him down as straight as I can, and then we'll have a third point of contact for the Lascannon to glue to. There we go. Alright. I'm just going to check the alignment here. Looks pretty decent. A little bit of glue there. A little bit of glue there. I'm going to let that, I think he might have turned on me actually. We're going to roll with that for now. Let that sit to the side for now while all this stuff is gluing. And we are going to roll to putting the arms on all of the other guys, which again, thankfully we don't have to match them up. They don't have to hold anything. And then we will just be putting those guys on the base as they are. I did not get around, as you guys can see right here with the mortar teams, I did not get around to putting any debris or whatever, because I have a plan. Well, we'll see how it works. The idea is I would like, since they're all going to be together anyway, would be to make a sort of diorama type deal where they have their 2 inches of, you know, whatever, so that at least they don't get all taken out by one shot, by most things anyway. And then I can set them down in there, and then I can build up a decent, you know, terrain deal around them, which would be, you know, which would make more sense, you know. But you know, we'll see how that plays out. All right, let's see here. I'm just grabbing all these arms here. Okay, let me bring the camera back some so you guys can see what I'm working on. Be happy once I'm finally done with all the infantry and whatnot. But we've got a ton of tanks and tank stuff to put together. 3 of them are the Forge World Mars pattern Vanquishers. Now I'm sure it's just a normal Lehman Russ with just some extra parts, Forge World parts, but those will have, you know, some of them are resin, so those will have to be washed as well. And then we've got a Bane Blade. We've got, you know, I'm probably gonna stick that other Night Warden in this army. At least that's what I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do. Let's see here. I don't know why I have this extra piece of resin here. And of course Warhound Titan, which will, you know, can go on any army, but I mainly got it for this one just because that will be a process in and of itself for sure. and then that Warlord Titan that I need to, well, one of them that I need to, you know, do up for this. Now it's, again, for those of you new to the channel, it's not a Forge World Warlord Titan. It's a what is it called? The Manufactorum Titan. It's mostly foam dowels and 3D printed, early 3D printed plates and stuff that are glued onto the foam, and it's pretty cool. But I'm gonna do some heavy work on that thing to make sure that it's super solid. So I've got two of them that I need to do that to, but one of them I may turn around and make it into a Chaos Titan. I mean, I can't really see myself ever playing. I mean, the goal was to have, like, make parts or whatever that I could magnetize, and then it could be an Imperial or a Chaos Titan. Because I mean, what's the likelihood of me playing a battle large enough to field two Warlord Titans? That's not Adeptus Titanicus. Probably zero, you know, unless I was in England or something. And they're not, you know, and Warhammer World's not gonna, you know, they're not gonna let me play with that, of course. Shoot, I mean, if they want to control our paint schemes now, you know, they sure as heck ain't gonna let me do that. And I actually need to revisit that site, the Manufactorum, because maybe it's the Titan Manufactorum, because I'm sure they've made advancements with 3D printing and everything else, and they probably have some better stuff out there now. But they're from Greece, and it didn't take too long to get here. Came in some really big boxes full of foam, or I mean a foam box, like foam insulation box, and that's exactly the foam that it's made out of, is foam insulation. So not too bad. Okay, so we know that the gun is going to lay right across the knee, so that'll make that relatively easy. So what'll end up happening is I'm going to glue that first. Actually, I need to go and make sure I clip off all these things on the guns. I don't know, it's a mold thing, some kind of, you know, channel or whatever, probably for air pocket. I'm still pretty anxious about whether or not they are in fact going to release Plastic Krieg, and when. And if they're going to release them with orcs, I guess I'll have more orcs, because I do not plan on missing out on those Plastic Kriegsmen. I will, however, probably not be subscribing to Warhammer TV or whatever the heck that channel is going to be called for the animations. I just don't think there's going to be enough content to warrant a subscription. You know what I mean? I just don't see it. I mean, and while I won't be pirating it, I'm sure it'll be pirated, and I'm sure it'll get out there. So I have a feeling Games Workshop's going to miss their mark on this one. And it's a shame too, because they've got really good artists. You got the rumor of Astartes 2 coming out. You know, that'll be awesome. But oh, come on, man. But again, I'm not really into the anime style of some of the animations that they're going to put out there. It's just not my thing. I think it takes away too much. It's kind of the reason I couldn't really stick with Dragon Ball Z or any of that kind of stuff back in the day. It was always the same thing, you know, guy yelling, hair on fire, and a bunch of nonsense in the background. So, that's how I saw it anyway. Okay. Okay, looks like he's good to go. And the gun did not exactly lay over his knee like I thought it would. I mean, he's got it propped on, you know, with his hand, but that's not what I'm looking for. Okay, this one. Let's see if I can figure out why. No, still not doing it. That's okay. I mean, it doesn't have to be, you know. I mean, it's still semi-propped on his hip, so that's all that matters. Let's see here. Maybe we can think of it like it's a kind of an action pose, like he's just going down into his crouch. You know what I mean? Some of you out there are probably like, man, you're putting way too much thought into this. You're right. You're right. I am. I really am. But that's what makes it fun for me, especially in lieu of not having anyone to play with. So, it's just the way it is, you know. Two more of these guys, or the arm part anyway. Something I can do is I can go back and, you know, re-strengthen, you know, like put some glue down, you know, right where the hand is meeting up with the trench coat or whatever, but I don't think we need to do that at the moment. So, let's see here. And then, of course, we still have to go back and put the shoulder pads on and the backpacks and blah blah blah. And in my mind, since they're gonna be moving pretty constantly, I'm gonna take the Lascannon and do like I did for the heavy bolters and the auto cannons, and I'm gonna put it on the dude's back, because the mortar team, the mortar teams, yeah, they could be on, you know, they've got everything disassembled because they have to. Well, it makes sense for their guns to be down. It doesn't make sense for the other groups that are moving, you know, really moving. So, and then I guess the argument could be made, oh man, you know, you piled up all those, you know, concrete barriers and stuff in front of them. You know, I mean, look at that. Look at that. You know, how's he supposed to get around that? Come on, man, work with me. All right. Let's see if we can revisit this over here real quick. I think we can. We're going to do a very, very light sand so I don't have to put a mask on. Now we should be able to marry this up. And everything should be good to go. Okay. It appears that this will be a balancing act of epic proportions from where it broke off down below. Now, that being said, all is not lost. If I really get tired of dealing with it, we can just put something else down there, or we can put some skin cells on. There we go. Skin cell trick works every time. I'm telling you. Just call it black magic. Call it the gift of Nurgle. If you don't have enough skin cells to spare, eat a sandwich. I'm just kidding. Alright, we're gonna have to, I mean, we've got it semi how we want it, but we've got to get some added push. And so we're gonna use the assault or auto cannon rather to try to push that over so it's leaning right until it fully cures. Alright, cool. So let's go ahead and we're going to throw these dudes down. We're going to go ahead and blow this up here real quick because I need to see what's going on. Let me see if I can get a better angle here. Okay, so he's got the box in front there, but the other one had the box in the back. Since we are using the curvy one, I'm thinking the box in the front is probably the way to go. So that'll make it easier for us to put these guys down. Then we don't have to, you know, mess around with it. What I probably, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So let me go ahead and get this out of the way so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Okay. Let's move that dude over there. Actually, we're going to turn him like they've got it where he's kind of looking off somewhere else. That'll give us our semi-dynamic pose-ish. Go ahead and turn all these around so you guys can see what's going on. Oops. Well, apparently that was not glued yet. There's one of those ghost dust hairs that does not want to let me get it. Let's see here. If you happen to hear any yelling, I can assure you that it's not my household. It's a TV show that for whatever reason resonates through the home, and I apologize. Dang, man, I cannot get that. Some drama show, whatever. I think it's called Private Practice or something. I don't watch TV. I might watch a movie here and there, but I just don't. It's not my thing. I'd rather do this. Hobbying is better. Okay. Let's see here. Maybe time to get another tube of glue. I think so. I think we're out. Yep, we're out. Stand by. go ahead and throw this guy down for good measure. Just so that this gunner doesn't feel left out and all alone. Matter of fact, I'm gonna move that guy over some more. Wait a minute. He's not exactly. I'm trying to make sure I've got a little bit of a gap between that lead foot and the side, so when I go to put the basing material on, we've got some, you know, some distance to work with, you know what I mean? This guy needs it, a gap, and this guy needs a gap. So, that being said, you guys see what we're working with here. We're going to go ahead and call it a night. So again, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.